Right now, invisible waves are passing through the walls around you. They carry your video calls, your downloads, your late night shows, all without a single wire. But if you've ever stood in one room and watched your Wi-Fi bars disappear, you already know something's getting in the way. So what actually happens when Wi-Fi hits a wall? And more importantly, what can you do about it? Let's take a look inside the invisible world of your home network. Wi-Fi isn't magic, it's radio waves. Specifically, high-frequency radio signals, usually broadcast at 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, and increasingly 6 gigahertz on newer routers. Your router converts your internet connection into these radio waves and sends them out in every direction, like ripples spreading from a stone dropped in water. Your phone, laptop, or smart TV has a small antenna that listens for these ripples and translates them back into data. The key thing to understand is this: radio waves travel in straight lines, but they don't just stop at the edge of a room. They spread, bend, bounce, and yes, push through solid objects, just not equally well. When a Wi-Fi signal meets a wall, part of it passes through and part of it is absorbed or reflected. How much gets through depends almost entirely on what the wall is made of. Drywall and wood barely slow a signal down. Brick and concrete absorb much more energy, weakening it significantly. And metal, things like appliances, mirrors with metal backing, or reinforced concrete with rebar inside, can block Wi-Fi almost completely, acting like a shield. This is why you might get full signal in the room next door, but almost nothing in a basement with concrete walls or a kitchen packed with metal appliances. Distance matters too. Signal strength fades the farther it travels, the same way a shout gets quieter the farther away you stand. But here's something less obvious. Wi-Fi signals don't just travel in one straight path. They bounce off walls, floors, and furniture, arriving at your device from multiple directions at slightly different times. This is called multipath, and in small doses, it actually helps signals reach around corners. In large doses, it can cause interference with itself. On top of that, everyday devices, microwaves, cordless phones, baby monitors, even some Bluetooth speakers, operate on similar frequencies, especially 2.4 gigahertz. When they're active, they can crowd the same invisible space your Wi-Fi is using, slowing things down. So to summarize what weakens your Wi-Fi: distance from the router, the number and material of walls in the way, interference from other electronics, and simply having too many devices competing for the same connection. The good news: once you understand these factors, improving your Wi-Fi becomes a lot more predictable. Let's go through the most effective ways to do it. The single biggest improvement is often the simplest. Move your router. Place it in a central, elevated, open location, not inside a cabinet, not behind a TV, and not tucked in a corner of the house. Every wall and piece of furniture between the router and your devices costs you signal strength. Central placement means fewer obstacles in every direction. Most modern routers broadcast on 2 or 3 bands at once. The 2.4 gigahertz band travels farther and passes through walls more easily, but it's slower and more crowded with interference. The 5 gigahertz band is much faster, but its range is shorter and it struggles more with walls. A good rule of thumb: use 5 gigahertz for devices near the router where you want speed, like streaming or gaming, and 2.4 gigahertz for devices farther away, like a smart speaker in another room. For larger homes or homes with lots of walls, a single router may never be enough. Mesh Wi-Fi systems solve this by placing multiple small units throughout the house, each rebroadcasting the signal so it never has to travel too far or pass through too many walls at once. A traditional Wi-Fi extender does something similar, though usually less seamlessly. It repeats the signal it receives, extending coverage at the cost of some speed. A few final adjustments can make a real difference. Keep your router away from microwaves, cordless phones, and thick metal objects. If your router allows it, switch to a less congested Wi-Fi channel. Most modern routers can do this automatically. And be mindful of how many devices are connected at once. Every smart bulb, camera, and tablet shares the same limited bandwidth, so spreading devices across both bands or upgrading your router if it's several years old can noticeably improve everyone's speed. Wi-Fi will always lose a little strength as it travels. That's simply physics. But by placing your router thoughtfully, choosing the right band, adding mesh coverage where needed, and cutting down on interference, you can get a fast, reliable connection in every room of your home. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.